Hey guys, hope everyone's having a great day. Let's get straight to it. The conflict between Israel and Iran is a complex geopolitical issue that has deep historical roots and significant implications for the Middle East and beyond. This rivalry can be traced back to the Islamic Revolution in 1979, which transformed Iran into a theocratic state and shifted its foreign policy towards opposition against Israel, viewing it as a key adversary in the region. Over the years, this animosity has been fueled by a series of events, including the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, Iran's support for militant groups like Hezbollah, and its nuclear ambitions, which Israel perceives as an existential threat. Understanding this conflict is crucial, as it not only shapes the dynamics of regional politics, but also influences global security. The stakes are high, with both nations engaging in a complex game of power, alliances, and proxy wars that can have far-reaching consequences. As we delve into this topic, we aim to provide an engaging and informative exploration of the historical context, key players, and the intricate web of relationships that define the Israel-Iran conflict. By unpacking these complexities, we hope to shed light on why this issue remains one of the most pressing challenges in contemporary geopolitics. The roots of the Israel-Iran conflict can be traced back to the formation of the State of Israel in 1948. This pivotal moment marked the culmination of decades of Jewish migration to Palestine and the subsequent establishment of a Jewish homeland, which was met with fierce opposition from the Arab population. The creation of Israel led to the First Arab-Israeli War, resulting in significant territorial changes and the displacement of many Palestinians, setting the stage for ongoing tensions in the region. Before the Islamic Revolution in 1979, Iran maintained a relatively cordial relationship with Israel. Under the rule of Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, Iran recognized Israel and engaged in diplomatic and economic ties, viewing it as a counterbalance to Arab nationalism. This partnership was characterized by mutual interests, particularly in the face of shared concerns about Soviet influence in the region. The Islamic Revolution. The 1979 Islamic Revolution in Iran had a profound impact on the geopolitical landscape of the Middle East, particularly concerning Israel. The revolution led to the overthrow of the Shah, who had maintained a relatively friendly relationship with Israel, and the establishment of an Islamic Republic under Ayatollah Khomeini. This seismic shift in governance resulted in a dramatic reorientation of Iran's foreign policy, which now positioned Israel as a primary adversary. With the rise of the new regime, anti-Zionism became a central tenet of Iranian politics. The revolutionary leadership framed Israel as an illegitimate state, portraying it as a puppet of Western imperialism and a threat to Islamic unity. This ideological shift not only fueled domestic support for the regime, but also resonated with various factions across the Arab world, further isolating Israel. The severing of diplomatic ties between Iran and Israel marked a significant turning point in their relationship. The new Iranian government expelled Israeli diplomats and cut off economic and military cooperation, effectively transforming Iran from a regional ally into a staunch opponent. This rupture laid the groundwork for decades of hostility, characterized by proxy conflicts, rhetoric, and a deepening divide that continues to shape the dynamics of the Middle East today. The Iran-Iraq War. The Iran-Iraq War, which lasted from 1980 to 1988, had significant implications for Israel-Iran relations, further entrenching animosities between the two nations. During this brutal conflict, Israel chose to support Iraq, primarily viewing Iran as a greater threat due to its revolutionary ideology and anti-Zionist stance. This support included providing intelligence and military assistance to Iraqi forces, as Israel sought to counterbalance Iran's influence in the region and prevent the spread of its revolutionary fervor. As the war progressed, Iran adapted its military strategies in response to the prolonged conflict and the challenges posed by Iraq's conventional forces. The Iranian leadership focused on asymmetric warfare tactics, including the use of proxy groups and unconventional forces, which would later become a hallmark of its military doctrine. This shift not only aimed to counteract Iraq's advantages, but also laid the groundwork for Iran's future engagements with non-state actors in the region, further complicating Israel's security landscape. The regional dynamics during the war heightened Israel's security concerns as Iran's military capabilities evolved and its rhetoric remained hostile. The conflict underscored the precariousness of Israel's position in a volatile Middle East, reinforcing the perception of Iran as a persistent threat that would shape Israeli defense policies for years to come. Nuclear ambitions. Since the 1990s, Iran has pursued a nuclear program that has raised significant concerns both regionally and internationally. Initially focused on developing civilian nuclear energy, Iran's ambitions evolved to include the potential for nuclear weapons capability. The program gained momentum following the 2002 revelation of secret facilities, which prompted fears that Iran was not merely seeking energy independence, but was instead aiming to develop a nuclear arsenal. Israel has been particularly alarmed by Iran's nuclear ambitions, viewing a nuclear-armed Iran as an existential threat. Israeli officials have repeatedly expressed concerns that Iran's acquisition of nuclear weapons would embolden its aggressive regional policies and enhance its support for militant groups like Hezbollah and Hamas. The prospect of a nuclear Iran has led Israel to adopt a proactive stance, including military preparations and covert operations aimed at disrupting Iran's nuclear progress. Internationally, responses to Iran's nuclear program have varied. The United States and European nations have implemented a series of sanctions aimed at curbing Iran's nuclear activities, while diplomatic negotiations, such as the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action (JCPOA) in 2015, sought to limit Iran's nuclear capabilities in exchange for sanctions relief. However, the US withdrawal from the JCPOA in 2018 reignited tensions, leaving the future of Iran's nuclear program and its implications for Israel uncertain. Proxy conflicts. Proxy conflicts have become a defining feature of the Israel-Iran rivalry, with Iran actively supporting various militant groups in the region, most notably Hezbollah in Lebanon and Hamas in the Gaza Strip. These groups serve as extensions of Iranian influence, allowing Tehran to project power and challenge Israel without direct confrontation. Iran's backing includes financial support, military training, and advanced weaponry, which significantly enhances the capabilities of these proxies. The presence of Hezbollah and Hamas has profoundly affected Israel's security landscape. Both groups have engaged in numerous conflicts with Israel, employing guerrilla tactics and rocket attacks that threaten Israeli civilians and military installations. The ongoing hostilities have forced Israel to allocate substantial resources to its defense, including missile defense systems like the Iron Dome, to counter the threats posed by these proxy forces. Key conflicts where Israel and Iran have indirectly clashed include the 2006 Lebanon War, where Hezbollah engaged in a fierce conflict with Israel, and the various escalations in Gaza involving Hamas. Additionally, the Syrian civil war has seen Iranian forces and their proxies confront Israeli interests, particularly as Iran seeks to establish a foothold near Israel's borders. These proxy dynamics complicate the regional security environment, making the Israel-Iran rivalry a multifaceted and enduring challenge. As of 2025, the Israel-Iran conflict continues to evolve amid significant regional shifts. One of the most notable developments has been the normalization of relations between Israel and several Arab states, particularly through the Abraham Accords initiated in 2020. Countries like the United Arab Emirates and Bahrain have established diplomatic ties with Israel, altering the traditional Arab stance towards the Jewish state and creating a new geopolitical landscape that Iran perceives as a direct threat to its influence in the region. In response to these normalization efforts, Iran has intensified its rhetoric and actions, vowing to counter what it views as a growing alliance against it. Iranian leaders have continued to threaten Israel, particularly regarding its military operations in Syria and its perceived encroachment on Iranian interests. This has included increased support for proxy groups and the development of advanced missile capabilities aimed at deterring Israeli actions. Significant military confrontations have also marked recent years, including Israeli airstrikes targeting Iranian positions in Syria and the ongoing skirmishes with Hezbollah and Hamas, most notable of which being the tragic music festival attacks of October 7, 2023. Diplomatic efforts have been made to address the tensions, with various international actors attempting to mediate between Israel and Iran. However, the underlying animosities remain, and the conflict continues to be shaped by both military and diplomatic maneuvers as each side seeks to assert its influence in an increasingly complex regional environment. Looking ahead. As we look ahead, the future of the Israel-Iran conflict remains uncertain, with potential scenarios ranging from escalation to resolution. One possibility is an increase in military confrontations, particularly if Iran continues to advance its nuclear program or bolster its support for proxy groups in the region. Israel may respond with preemptive strikes or intensified military operations, leading to a cycle of retaliation that could destabilize the entire region. Conversely, there is a chance for diplomatic breakthroughs, especially if international actors, such as the United States and European nations, engage in renewed negotiations with Iran. Efforts to revive the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, JCPOA, could lead to a temporary easing of tensions, fostering an environment where both Israel and Iran might explore avenues for dialogue. However, the success of such diplomacy will depend on the willingness of both sides to compromise and the influence of regional allies. Ongoing monitoring of the situation will be crucial as developments unfold. The dynamics of the conflict are influenced by various factors, including shifts in regional alliances, domestic politics within Iran and Israel, and the broader geopolitical landscape. Keeping a close watch on these elements will be essential for understanding the trajectory of the Israel-Iran rivalry and anticipating potential outcomes in the coming years. In this video, we have explored the complex and multifaceted conflict between Israel and Iran, tracing its historical origins from the formation of Israel in 1948 to the significant impact of the 1979 Islamic Revolution. We examined how the Iran-Iraq War shaped military strategies and the role of proxy conflicts in escalating tensions. Additionally, we discussed Iran's nuclear ambitions and the implications of recent developments, including the normalization of relations between Israel and several Arab states. Key takeaways include the understanding that the Israel-Iran rivalry is deeply rooted in historical grievances, ideological differences, and regional power dynamics. The potential for both conflict escalation and diplomatic resolution remains, highlighting the importance of international diplomacy in shaping future relations. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with anyone who wants to better understand this conflict. Hope everyone has a great day.